This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening. The time is now 6:38 p.m. This is the Tilton Planning Board meeting for September 28th. First, we'll do a roll call attendance.
You want to say one person?
Christine Dembinski.
Frederick Senna.
Tom Damon.
And then the first order of business for today is the site plan review and conditional use permit in the groundwater district, JA Total Properties, planning board case 21-15.
Good evening. My name is Eric Buck. I'm a landscape
I
architect.
should have left it here, right? I moved it back over there. I don't know why I did
Better over
that,
there?
yeah.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Eric Buck. I'm a landscape architect with terrain planning and design, and I'm the agent for JA Total Properties. Josh and Andrew are here tonight, owners of JA Total Properties, as well as owners of Total Ground Landscape. We're here for a proposed project at 477 Laconia Road, redevelopment of the old Tilton Nursery site into a future home for Total Grounds Landscape Company. So we've been before the board last month for conceptual. We were here 2 weeks ago for site plan presentation. We were just at the Conservation Commission, I think it was last Monday, and we're here tonight, hopefully seeking approval on our project. So I think there are maybe a few members that weren't here last week, so I'll just do a very high level 30,000 foot view.
Okay.
Route 3, this is a unique property because it's bordered by a road on two sides and then a small stream on the other. So Route 3 runs here on the bottom of the sheet. Silver Lake Road runs here, and then there's a small stream that skirts the southern side of the property. This is the Better Homes and Garden, or what has been the Better Homes and Garden real estate office for a number of years. That building is shown here. There are two curb cuts on Route 3 and one curb cut on Silver Lake Road. There's paved asphalt parking associated with the office building here. In the back, for years, is where the Tilton Nursery greenhouses were. That's been sort of an overgrown, kind of messy, gravelly area. There's an existing wood frame shed there now. The proposed project involves construction of a new 60-foot by 60-foot shop building for Total Grounds. Development of the back portion of that property into landscape material storage area for their construction operation. It'll be parking for their staff. Then they're going to retain the use of the office building for their own offices, as well as rent out to some these folks. The parking associated with that building is going to remain, and they're going to plan, and they've already started, re-landscaping the curb appeal and streetscape along Route 3 and Silver Lake Road to help improve the look of the site. So we've worked with Brown Engineering, who's done all the engineering and drainage calculations for the project. Those are in your packet. The high-level plan is that the site drains from this corner of the sheet back to this corner of the sheet. All of the stormwater infiltration will be captured in a rain garden located here in the southern portion of the property. That will infiltrate down before making its way down into the water table. 25-year, 50-year, and 100-year flow rates have been calculated, and they all decrease the total volume of water coming off the site. So there were some comments from the Conservation Commission that were brought up last Monday that I think you guys all have and have seen, and I'd be happy to address any of those if you would like further clarification. Some high points: there will be no salt storage on site at this point. Total Grounds knows they need to come back if that's something that they would like to do in the future, and they may be prepared to do that at some point, but the focus now is to get them on the property, using the property. There was some talk at the Conservation Commission about whether or not they needed an oil water separator for a possible floor drain. The plan was to not have a floor drain of any kind in the building, and so they understand that if they do want a floor drain, they would need to put the oil water separator in there and have the engineers work to design that and work with code enforcement on that as part of the construction project. One of the abutters brought up the concern about overflow of stormwater onto his property. And as the engineering calculations show, this is the new project is decreasing the outflow of stormwater onto any other property So it will certainly improve his situation. I can't say that all of his stormwater is coming from this property, but we do know that what we're dealing with on this site will be contained and infiltrated properly. Those were kind of the high level points. There's
Snow storage, just mentioned.
yeah, so snow storage right now is planned behind this existing shed. So the idea is that it will melt and go through the same infiltration system as what our stormwater runoff is doing. This is snow storage just for snow maintenance on this site, though Total Grounds does do snow removal on other properties. They're not bringing that snow to the site to then. This is just for the snow that's generated on this property.
And then, on your map there, how far away are you from the wetlands?
We're maintaining a 20-foot buffer from the wetlands all the way. And the style of the best management practice of being a rain garden is sort of an expansion of that buffer area. So think of it as sort of renaturalizing even further into the site, as opposed to a detention pond or something. It's going to kind of look consistent with that wetland buffer edge.
So if it doesn't help the abutting neighbor's rain problem, are you against putting something in there to help from all that going, if this rain garden?
The rain garden does help, is what they were saying.
Right, I heard that, but if it happens to not.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think
he's gonna come back and complain and then.
I mean, I think there's further study that would need to be done on his property to gauge where the hydrology, what's going on his property and where that water is coming from.
Oh,
I
okay.
can tell you that the water that would have been coming from this property will be decreased because of the new engineering.
Okay.
He's getting water on his property, which I would believe it probably is, but I don't believe that is all coming from as a result of this property.
What's the new building for? Just trucks and stuff? Or?
It's a shop. Yeah, it's a landscape company shop. So they'll have, it's where their employees will come in and have time cards and all that. There'll be a small office break area there. They'll do some, small equipment maintenance, change, tracks on the excavator, sharpen mower blades, that type of.
Not like oil changes or anything like that.
They typically sub most of that stuff out. So it's not going to be a, 30 oil changes in a day kind of thing.
Right.
Any questions from the board?
So the water will be decreasing the flow onto his property, but will there be any flow that's directed towards his property at all?
No, any flow that would be headed that way is going to be captured in this four-bay swale, which is then going to fill up and transition over into our infiltration area, the bioswale garden. It then percolates down through the soils, the heavy metals and toxins are evaporated by the plants, and so the water that's actually making its way into the stream is filtered water.
The point I was concerned about was along Silver Lake Road and that swell there. And where does that well discharge to?
The swale, this swale here,
Yes.
this elevation line keeps that water on Silver Lake Road, so it stays in the shoulder of the road and keeps
But then
heading on the
doesn't
road.
it just sort of like curve around the back of the property?
Yeah, so we're capturing this water and bringing it down, but there's a high point here. So Silver Lake Road is that water staying in the
Silver
shoulder.
Lake Road
Yeah.
stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
But the stuff from your property
Is being captured all the way
is
along
captures
this
line.
property line and making its way into the treatment swale.
There's nothing additional from your property flowing into that swale.
No, all of the sheet flow is coming across here. Into here.
Are you fueling vehicles on the property?
No, they have fuel cells that are in the back of some of their trucks,
Oh, yeah.
and they fuel on some job sites. There may be,
Right, for
a
the
random
equipment.
fueling, but typically they would fuel at a gas station.
And where's the trash on there? I wasn't here last week, so.
So there is a dumpster for the office building that's up front here. There will be a dumpster located somewhere in the back storage area. The property is fenced all the way around in the back, and there's a long-term plan to improve that fence. I think there was a comment from Concom about maybe fencing in the dumpster
Yeah.
itself, but if they're going to improve the fence all the way around the property at some point, I don't know, is enclosing that dumpster is necessary. But it's certainly up to the board to make whatever conditions for approval they might feel are necessary.
It does say there is a large fuel tank on the site, is there?
There's a fuel tank inside the existing shed that we believe Tilton Nursery folks use to fuel their vehicles. There's no fuel in it now, and there's no
Yeah.
plan to use it for that. It does have the proper concrete pad and spillway protection and all that, refueling, section, but they don't have plans to fuel their own equipment.
Thank you.
On this 60 by 60,
Yes, sir.
why are you objecting to putting a floor drain in?
We've been under the impression, and honestly, I haven't looked up the architectural code yet, that the floor drain in a building like this would be allowed.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you better, no, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same requirement was for KRM that have no floor drain. For developer to
Yeah.
make sure there was no floor drain in there. That was their requirement, and they did their landscape.
I think generally the thought is if there's a spill, they're putting something on it to clean it up immediately,
It's
as
captured, right?
opposed to a spill that would then go into a floor drain and hopefully the floor drain is doing what it's supposed to be.
How old is the fence around there? Is it wood or is it
It's a
chain link?
fairly, I'm gonna say, no,
It's old.
it's old, yeah.
So I
One
think
other
maybe
concern that
what-
was mentioned early on, I think it was even maybe in the conceptual, was the concern of the site distance on the corner. I don't know if John, you mentioned it. You guys were gonna put some nice landscaping, which is nice, but we have to make sure that we don't block that. I guess it's a difficult corner now.
Yeah.
Was it John? Was it you that had
It was
mentioned that?
Joe. He was.
Oh, it was Joe.
Yeah, it was
I know it
Joe.
was
Yeah.
But they were just concerned that it would
Yeah.
impede the site distance on the
We're not
corner.
doing any,
You know, okay,
not in that corner,
okay.
just what he showed.
I just happened to drive by there this morning, and it looked very nice, that corner.
Thank you.
for that.
We'll open up the floor to public comments. If there's no public comments, we'll bring it back to the board. Any further comments or questions from the board? Seeing that there's no other comments or concerns, we'll open it up to a vote for completion.
I think we already found it complete at the last meeting.
We did?
Yep, it's already been found complete, but
Okay.
then they sent it back to Concom.
Oh,
So
Okay.
we are now at approval for.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll open up to, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the planning board case 21-15. I just want to put a condition that the fence stays maintained in case it falls over or anything.
The fence.
The fence, yeah.
Christine, could you repeat that motion, please? I didn't catch
I'll make a motion to accept planning board case number 21-15 with a condition. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
To make sure that the fence stays maintained.
Can we add all state and local permits,
And all state and local permits,
fire approval,
fire approval. I know
no
I had-
salt shall be stored on site.
No salt shall be stored on site.
And actually, you have a conditional use permit as well that probably should precede your site approval, but I guess you can do it the other way around, but you can't really approve the site approval without granting them the conditional use permit for the groundwater protection, so I'm sorry. Can you just
Okay.
withdraw your motion? And
So I'll withdraw my motion.
I guess I should have actually caught you. That's my fault. I should have told you first, Christine. So there is a conditional,
What is the conditional use?
there is a conditional use permit for the groundwater, the over 15% impervious in the groundwater protection district. So you would have to approve that and then approve your site plan.
Does anybody have comments on that?
No.
All good? Okay, I'll do this one. Yes?
Thanks.
I make a motion to approve the conditional use permit. Do you want me to read the greater than?
No, it's fine. I mean, I'll put it in.
For
the
planning
decision.
board case number 21-15.
I'll second that.
Thank
All in favor?
Aye.
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 So now you can move to the next one. I'm sorry.
Do I have to say all that over again?
Yeah, you do.
Okay,
For the record.
so it's fire.
So I can read the conditions if you want. You just
Okay.
make the motion and I'll read.
I make a motion to accept the planning board case number 21-15 with the following conditions.
So the fence be properly maintained,
Yeah.
right? All state and local permits.
Yeah.
Be provided. Fire approval.
Yeah.
No salt storage without board approval.
Anybody else have any other conditions?
Shall be no additional runoff to neighbor property.
No additional runoff?
Established and
Should be lessening it at this point.
That'd be nice, yeah. Okay, need a second?
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, guys.
Ta-da!
That was easy. Good work.
Thank you, thank you. It's gonna look great.
Thank you, effort into that.
Do we have enough people here to approve the minutes?
no, doesn't matter. Anybody can approve the minutes. You don't have to have been here.
And so moving on to approval of minutes for September 14th, 2021.
Promise you, you can make a motion.
So page 6 of 9, under B, is a topic. 16 Brook Road.
Yeah.
He also expressed concern over runoff going onto his property. So if we want to add at the end, he also expressed concern over additional runoff going onto his property.
Basically, additional runoff from their property to his property.
Yes, yeah, thanks.
Any other questions or comments about the minutes?
I'd like to make a motion, to accept the minutes. Tilton Planning Board of September 14th, 2021. As recorded,
As amended.
As amended. He made one.
as amended.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Abstain.
Is there any other business to be
Hmm,
going
We're
over?
good.
Okay.
All right.
make a motion to,
Oh, yeah, make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. Oh, no, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome.
Want to stop recording? Jen?
If you want to make an update on the,